Hey Joe fans, I'm JoeFan82 here with another action figure review, and today I'm looking at the Donatello figure from the new Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line. This guy is based on the new animated series from Nickelodeon, and they did a great job of simulating that 2D animated look in action figure form. Now this guy does have less detail in his sculpt than the previous version, but we'll get to that later. Let's take a closer look at the design and sculpt of this new Donatello. So one of the first things you'll notice is the new design for the turtles. Donatello has instead of the mask that goes around his eyes, he has the full covering over his head with, you can see the little bit coming out the back. This is similar to Raphael that I reviewed earlier. And these designs look like they take a cue from the recent live-action movies. You can see he's got this bit of technology on the top of his head, but it's much more simple than what we saw in those movies. I like this a lot better, much smaller, out of the way. He's not wearing glasses like in the movie, and he's got a very stern look to his face, not like what we saw in the last cartoon where he was a little bit on the goofy side, but he seems a little serious in this pose. You notice very simple lines on this sculpt, really trying to mimic that animated look. So he's got sort of that very similar orange chest and abdomen that we've seen on all the turtle figures. These are more colorful than the previous versions. The other ones were a little more muted. These are bright. This is targeting a younger audience, so brighter colors. The belt buckle here looks like it's going to be maybe like a communicator, turtle comm. And we've got some purple elbow pads on both sides. And this right here on his forearm looks like it's probably a bit of some kind of technology that he's using. And purple knee pads. And he's got these coverings down here over his feet and ankles. One thing about these new turtle figures is that they are probably one of the highest articulated turtle figures we've seen at retail. They have lots more articulation than the standard turtle figures that we've seen before. So you'll notice here at the head, he's got a great range of motion on his head. It looks up, he looks down. Now the Raphael I looked at earlier just could move left and right, but that was basically because he was a big guy, big sculpt, and just not much room. Donatello is more lithe. He's a bit of a, wiry guy, so a little more room for movement there. His shoulders do a full 360 and come up about so far. His elbows will do almost a full 90, and he's got a joint there at the elbow he can turn. His wrists do a full 360. No articulation in the midsection. One thing I don't understand here, this looks like it has the same articulation as the previous versions of the turtles, but their legs don't automatically come out like this. You've got to turn them so they come out like that, but once they do, they've got a nice range of motion here. They come up about that far, and they can go straight out with a 90-degree bend at the elbow. The knee, the lower elbow, the knee. And he's got 360 in the ankle and up and down. So great range of motion there. And those three-toed turtles are back, not like what we saw the last time. So some things are same, some things are new, and some things are bringing back something from the old. So let's take a look at the accessories that this Donatello comes with. So the first thing we'll look at is this backpack, which looks like a turtle shell. It's gray, and it's got a translucent purple, what looks like a drone, but it's actually meant to be a flying device for Donatello. I believe he uses this in the first episode where this kind of pops out of his backpack, and he's able to carry April in the air. He's flying in the air. So I'm not sure why they used a translucent plastic for this, because so far it looks like the translucent plastic is made for the weapons that have this supernatural magic associated with them, and this is obviously technology that does not. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks cool. Here is Donatello's staff, and as you can see, mine got a little warped in the package. So, I mean, that's easily fixable. Just heat it up and kind of mold it in the right way. He holds it pretty good in his left hand, not so much in his right. It's pretty loose, but it's got a nice sculpt, nice detail. In the show, this has some gadgets on there. I believe this tip is like a harpoon. He shoots it out and hooks onto the other building, and they're able to kind of, and has a wire, and they're able to slide across from one building to another. So that was pretty cool. So that's his staff. He comes with 2 of these throwing stars that we saw with Raphael, and he cannot hold them at all in his left hand. He can sort of hold them in his, he can't hold them in his right hand. He can sort of hold them in his left. And here is his staff with the mystical energy coursing through it, and it looks really cool. Nice sculpt. You can see the flames coming off the tips as it's spinning around. But as I said with the previous staff, holds true with this one. It's very loose in his right hand, and holds pretty well in his left. What would have been really cool is if they had something where this staff would spin around so you could see these flames like it was moving, you know. Maybe in a future version of the figure we'll see that. So my son couldn't wait for me to review this guy before he opened him, so he's in the back of the card is a little bit ripped there. But I wanted to read you the description on the back. It says, Donatello, the tech whiz. Donnie is the coolest tech whiz ever. Being a soft shell turtle may be a drawback in the ninja world, but with his series of battle shells and transforming bow staff, Donnie can take on any foe. And it says species soft shell turtle, weapons, tech, bow staff. And it's got a nice cross-sell of the other figures in wave 1 of this line on the bottom. Something that I forgot to look at when I looked at Raphael was this little pamphlet that came in the package. This comes with all the figures so far on wave 1. It says Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's got all 4 turtles on the front, Playmates toys on the bottom corner. And this folds out, and this is one of those little pamphlets we've seen that advertises the other products in the line. We've got all the basic figures here, and then we've got vehicles here, and a really cool giant playset, and some role-playing stuff here. And on the back, we've got the deluxe figures. These guys flip around, and some 12-inch guys here. Almost 12, looks like they're 11. Articulated giant action figures, it says. And over here are, you can join the Secret Sewer Squad, and each figure comes with a code for some pizza points, and you log those into the website and you can redeem them for Ninja Turtle stuff. And here's a look at the new Donatello and the previous version. You'll notice right away the new one has a much more vivid green color to his skin. He is a bit shorter. The sculpt is vastly different. It's kind of fun seeing, what the designers took that was the same and different, and it's weird. It's the same character, but he looks different. You could almost say this was a Donatello from a different dimension. But this one has much more articulation. Notice this version has no articulation at the ankles, and this one does. And I have to say that I probably prefer this one with the more detailed sculpt, but I like the articulation on this guy. So both of them have their pros and cons, and that's a comparison with the new version and the old version. So that's my look at the new Donatello figure from the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments below. As a reminder, you can see all of my review videos one day early if you are a patron on my Patreon page. You can visit that at patreon.com/JoeFan82. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.